It's time for Where You Live with Gene and Tony, the show that's all about owning, buying, selling, renting, and association management. If it involves a home, we'll talk about it. Here's your chance to get your homeowner questions answered. From the Concierge Landscape Studios, here's Gene and Tony.
Needed the shelter of someone's arms, and there you were. Needed someone to understand my ups and downs.
Good morning and welcome to Where You Live with Gene and Tony. I'm Gene Sullivan.
And I'm Tony Crockett. Good morning today, Gene. How are you?
I'm great.
Good.
And you?
I'm really good.
We're just down to the last few days before the presidential election.
I know, and my husband will be so happy when those political ads cease.
Really? You know, some people said that they would kind of like the way things are done in Britain.
Yeah, how is it done there?
They said that it's a much more compressed time frame. Here we seem to have things begin now a year and a half.
That's right.
2 years before
people start vying for those
election.
nominations. They start declaring their intentions,
But I've heard in Britain that they wait and all of the ads on TV, everything, are compressed to 6 weeks before the election.
Oh. See, now Jeff would really like
and
that.
And forces people,
Yeah.
they think it forces people to be more aware during
Well, you know what?
that last
It's hard to focus for a year and a half, right? On anything, isn't it?
What?
So,
Oh.
So it's hard to
Yes.
focus on this election and who's going to be the candidate
Yes.
and what their platform is and their ideas. I agree with the Brits.
Now, next week on election night, I will be also dealing with a homeowner association that's asked me to be their parliamentarian because they have a very serious annual homeowners meeting.
Okay.
And it will be the people that are vying for the positions.
They're electing new board members.
Electing
Yeah.
new board members.
Yeah.
I think will be ever bit as much as a dramatic thing as we have with our current presidential debate. So
very interesting.
that will be interesting.
Yep.
On next Tuesday. Well, folks, we want you to remember to please go out and vote. It's the best way. Especially, we've talked about it all the time. If you live in a homeowners association, if you want to have a say and a direct influence in those that govern you, you can't complain if you don't.
That's right.
That's
right.
Don't
and to
vote.
paraphrase someone, I don't know who this is attributable to, but the world is run by the people who show up.
That's right.
So you need to show up.
I think
and
it was
let
Woody,
your wants and
Woody Allen.
I've heard
Woody
it
Allen
attributed
said
to Woody Allen, but I thought I was wrong.
He said 80% of success comes from those who just show up.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, hey, thanks for joining us today. We are broadcasting from the Natural Green Lawn and Landscape Studios. Remember, Natural Green is a locally owned and operated lawn and landscape care company. Their mission is to use the most environmentally sensitive products available to keep your lawn, your landscape looking lush, beautiful, while still healthy for both people and pets. Whether you choose their organic or traditional program, always be rest assured they are always using horticulturally sound principles for great results. Give them a call, 763-213-2410. We're also brought to you by Extreme Exteriors and American Family Insurance, the Kim Bennett Agency. We've got a lot to go over on today's show, so without further ado, let's begin with property management in the news. Property management in the news, of course, is brought to you by Home Furniture and Abbey Floor Coverings. Their showrooms are staffed with professionals who will help you choose what you need to fit both your lifestyle and budget. Whatever you need, chances are they'll have what you're looking for. Now, if you wish to avail yourself of special pricing and discounts you're not going to find anywhere else, all Where You Live listeners can call this number. Ask for Lori Matson. That number, 952-224-2663. I'll give it to you again, 952-224-2663, and ask for your Where You Live with Gene and Tony special pricing. Well, let's get started with our very first story here. And, Tony, this is from the Waltham Patch News in Boston, Massachusetts.
Okay.
And it's titled, "Why Did the Roofs Come Off the Waltham Condo Complex?" People are can't understand. It said city officials are working to determine why the roofs, which were just renovated in 2007, so we're not talking about a lot of time here.
That's right. That's right. That had a lot more life in them.
Yeah, why they were blown off the two buildings at the Glen Meadow condominium complex during Hurricane Sandy.
Let me put on my thinking cap. Let me think this over. Why did those roofs blow off during the hurricane?
Why would they come off?
Why would that happen? That's a really kind of a ridiculous statement.
When I read this article, I thought
you laughed out loud.
I thought, where are the people? But unfortunately, the city officials are scratching their head over this issue too.
I don't get this. I don't get it.
Yes. It says, now, while officials know that the storm's high winds blew the roofs off.
Okay.
We
all know that.
All right, yeah.
We all know that.
They're trying to determine why the rubber membranes, which are part of the roof, ripped off along with the framing structure. Can we go back to, again, Hurricane Sandy? But
you have to question, what was the expectation here?
Yes.
What was the expectation?
Well, it says the building inspector, Patrick Powell, told the Waltham Patch News in an interview, he said an engineer is going to review the buildings and try to determine a more specific reason. I cannot think of any more wasteful government spending than this right here.
That's a very good point.
It's not going to be a lot. It's not going to be a lot. It's going to be one guy. It's going to be an afternoon. The engineer, he's going to get a few bucks.
Of work. Okay.
But do we really have to do this because you don't really understand why it came off because of Hurricane Sandy?
I don't know.
And it says Powell even searched the records for prior building code violations at the site, because I think he was trying to think, well, probably
this has been a problem.
Shoddy workmanship. Right. It's something else. It can't be the hurricane. That'd be too easy. No, it's something else. But darn it, he found nothing.
He found no prior code violations.
No prior code.
What is the
violation.
deal with this, Gene? And this isn't a parody. You didn't get this out of the Onion or something.
No.
Okay.
It was. This is the Waltham Patch News, October 31st.
Holy cow!
Yeah. I mean, it is pretty amazing here, isn't it?
Later in the article, I like this part. The incident began at 5:20 p.m. Monday when firefighters responded to the site and found the roofs of both buildings had been at least partially torn off. I like that specific time of the incident. Are they still talking about Hurricane Sandy?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
The incident.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, this wasn't.
Now, Hurricane Sandy has done just horrendous amounts of damage, and people died in this hurricane. It was horrific. And there's going to be huge amounts of cleanup and huge amounts of money that need to be spent. This seems ridiculous, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Going on, the building inspector here, again, trying to make himself maybe a little bit more important. Hey, my job's got value here. And it does. Building inspectors do.
Of course it does.
But building inspectors who actually know what they're doing, too. But the building inspector says the office plans to evaluate all the roofs at the complex to determine whether they are sound.
You know what? That's all good. That's good because they may have been damaged by the hurricane as well in ways that you can't necessarily see easily. And people were displaced. Yeah. Families had to move out of this building. You want to get the work done as quickly as possible, evaluate it and complete it as quickly. All that's good.
Yeah. People were displaced from towns everywhere along the eastern seaboard.
That's right. It's just interesting that they're still wondering why they blew up.
And then he makes the promise, any necessary repair work will be performed on the roof. Right. You know, I think the homeowners, Mr. Powell, are going to kind of figure that out and want that. themselves.
I think so too.
It is amazing. You know, another part of all of this that people are concerned with is, you know, here in Minnesota, we've had with a lot of insurance policies, insurance companies that have come back and said, look, because of tornadoes, because of wind, and because of hail, we want to have higher deductibles. Instead of a $5,000 deductible, it's a 3% or 5% of the value of the buildings.
Wow.
They're looking at that for hurricanes here as well.
Yeah.
We need to take a break. Let's do that. When we come back, let's finish up and talk about what that's going to mean to the folks owning property on the East Coast.
Okay.
We'll be back. We'll be back after these messages.